Hey guys, Andy Demi here from the London Trading Institute, and welcome to another trade idea. Now, I wanted to share with you something insightful because I had a question the other day. In fact, I get quite a lot of questions, but one of them is, at the moment, the markets have not been moving in one direction for a little while. So, for example, October, some people struggle to make money, especially the swing traders. Okay, so the ones that are basically looking for significant movements in the markets. However, there has been movement in the markets, and what I've basically been doing is I've been a lot more active in my trading. So rather than kind of just sitting in something for 2-3 weeks, I'm basically looking to take profits on the way down or profits on the way up, then look for new entries so that even if the market isn't moving a huge amount, you're able to basically take enough pips to make your living from it. Okay, so the other thing that's come up is I had a question on a particular setup that I posted. So I went short the Aussie yen, and initially, the idea was the Aussie yen was going to go down, okay? But I was basically selling a high point. And you've got to remember, when you're selling a high point, the market isn't going to immediately just go down, okay? So if the market's been going up and you're trying to catch the top, it's not just because we've entered it, it's not just going to immediately go down. Now, initially, it did go into profits, and then the bulls came back into the market and started to push it a bit higher. Now, what I tend to do with those sorts of setups is I look to scale into my trades. In other words, not take my full position on my first entry, but then look for a second entry at a nice higher point. So anyway, the question was basically, should I get out of my trade? So what happened was this particular person was very excited when the market was going in their favor, but then as soon as it turned and we went into a loss situation, the first thing that they wanted to do was close the trade. Now, here's the thing. My response was, well, what's wrong with the trade? Has anything changed? Has it gone past the point where it no longer makes sense? And if that's not the case, then you should never close the trade. You need to let it play out. Okay. Now, having said that, I'm going to sound hypocritical because I actually flattened my positions this morning. Okay. But I want to teach you the difference between what this particular person wanted to do and what I did this morning, because my one is part of a plan. And it made a lot of sense for me to close it this morning. However, I want you to understand the difference because it's really, really key. And sometimes if you're not quite successful yet at trading, this can really, really help you. So I want to show you some of those examples in the markets just now. Plus, I've got a really nice trade idea for next week on the Aussie dollar. So let's go into the charts right now, guys, and have a look together. Okay, so here is what I was talking about. Now, the Aussie yen. Now, basically, here's what I was looking at. So when you look at the weekly chart, I decided that I wanted to sell this. And one of the reasons was because we were coming up to this weekly trend line here. And then we also had a weekly level here, okay, a good level in the markets. That's held basically in the past, okay. So if you go back, you can see several times the markets basically responded at this area. So I wanted to sell it because I had a setup here on the 4-hour chart, and the setup was quite simple. We broke a trend line, and I was really looking to get in on this pullback here. So I got in around here, I believe. So let me just check. So 75.15. A little bit higher actually. So I got in yeah, so I got in here. So it was testing this trend line here. And what was my other entry? So 75.15, 75.49, and then 75.26. So I basically sold at here, first one, 15, okay, and then at 26, a little bit higher, and then finally at 49. And what I basically do is, because I'm scaling into my trade, I'm getting a better price as it goes higher, okay? And I have a fixed overall risk. And what you can see here is the better the price, the bigger my position, basically. So you can see here I had 1.55 lots, one lot there, and then 0.78 is what I started with, okay? Now, I believe my target basically is 73.50 for this one. And what I could have done is I could have absolutely held this, okay? But here's what I didn't do. I didn't basically exit the trade. So this is the bit that I was saying, that when the market started doing this, you start to think, okay, that's great. Okay, so a new trader gets excited with that. They're making money off the back of that. And then the market starts to do this. And this is when I had the question, shall I get out? Okay, because suddenly that nice profit has now become a loss. And my response was, well, no, because actually my plan is, as long as we stay below this area here, then I want to sell it. Okay, so I basically entered again in my third and final position. Okay, now here's the point. So the first point is obviously follow your plan. But the second thing here that I really want to point out is that I ended up actually flattening my positions. Now I want to explain why. So I didn't do it here because the market was now going in the other way. But I understand that at the moment, the markets are not just going down and going down in a straight line. They're pretty wavy, and they're actually very non-directional in a way. So what I've been finding I've been doing very, very successfully is taking targets and then getting back in. So for example, CAD yen, I've had a lot of success with. I believe there's a CAD yen there, but I've taken a few CAD yen trades and I've done pretty well off the CAD yen. But this one is a recent one, but the idea is the same basically. So I've basically been looking at just taking targets and then coming out. So this morning I basically looked at my indicator, which gives me the average in a day of where the market can go. So if you have a look over here on this first green line, if you look in the past, normally the market doesn't go past this first green line. Okay, so on average, if you go back, it doesn't tend to go below that first green line. Okay, every now and again it does. Look, it goes to the second green line. But I basically said to myself, well, look, it's Friday and I think we're going much lower, but we're at this first green line. The probability is this is going to be the low of the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of this trade, and most likely I'm going to be able to get a better price again on Monday. Now, it just so happened that the market did in fact go to the second green line. So I could have made more money by holding it. But here's the most important thing. I'm basically playing my plan out. When I took it on the CAD yen, it was a super profitable idea because I managed to catch a really big move down, and then I managed to get back in again and catch another move down, and I might end up still getting a better price because I ended up coming out at what price is it here? 75.20. Okay, so at the moment basically 30 pips too soon, but it could be the case that on Monday we get another rally up and I'm able to get in at the same price, and I don't have to worry about the swap rate. I don't need to worry about the risk of holding over the weekend. Now, what I'm basically trying to get at here is, as long as it makes sense, then don't worry about the outcome later. Okay, don't worry about what's happened, and don't worry and think, oh man, I should have held it and whatever else. No, you've done what you've been doing that's been working. And in this market, because the markets are not trending strongly overall, by doing this you're going to make more pips overall. So don't let the one-off affect what you do going forward. Now, I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some ideas. Now, what I want to do is I want to quickly share with you a trade idea. So here it is. I'm going to do this quite quickly. So Aussie dollar, I see a very nice channel here, and it's basically been holding very nicely here at this resistance point. And what I'm basically looking at is this market going to basically go and hit this green line and then go down again? Or is it going to basically now start to go down? Because it doesn't always reach there, okay? It won't always get there. So it could be a case that this market may just start going down. How are we going to know? Here's how you know. Here's how you do it. Go to the lower time frames, zoom out, and put in your trend lines. So let me add in my automated trend lines. Have a look at this, guys, right now. Right now, this market has got momentum going down. Okay, momentum is down. But we have this trend line, which is probably going to be reached at some point, either today, most likely next week. The question is this trend line here going to act as support and push the market higher? And maybe it will end up going to the next Fibonacci. My guess is we may basically go do something like this, where you see how you've got basically the yellow zone there and the gray zone. I think once you get to the yellow and the gray zone, the target with this system becomes the yellow and the gray zone. And my guess is maybe this market is going to go and push one more higher, and that's going to probably, what level is that? 69.56. That's going to probably be roughly on this green line. Now, if that happens, then great. We can basically look to sell that. However, if it doesn't happen and something like this happens, then we break this trend line, then that's fine as well, because now we'll just start to trade the swings down. So either way, we've got a plan. Okay, so that's basically today's trade idea. I hope you like it, and we'll basically have a look at that again next week. Okay, guys, so I hope that was useful, and I hope you got something exciting and fun lined up for the weekend. It is the end of the day now. I'm done. I need to go and have a bit of rest, and ready again on Monday to hit the markets again. I hope you've had a good week, and wishing you all a great weekend, and I'll be with you again next week with more trade ideas. Take care, guys. See you soon.